Good morning. So, I would like to continue on what I was talking about yesterday. The video that Mel Robbins put out was, and I don't agree with everything she says, but this one resonated with me. It was called When You Feel Like You're Stuck. I think that was generally what they were talking about. And who feels more stuck than someone who is either going to be a widow, about to be a widow, or who is a widow? That stuck feeling like, it's like being lost in the woods. Suddenly, your whole world is about to change, and not just the dynamic of your partner no longer being with you. There's so many other aspects. For me, it was losing 2/3 of my income, insecurity, and the expectancy of what went on every day. There's such a loss, such a change, such a stuck feeling. And that's why that video resonated with me, and I wanted to take it and use the ideas for widows. Or any kind of loss, really, because when we have a major loss, it's like the deer in the headlights, isn't it? We're just stunned. We're stunned. So, yesterday I covered acceptance, stop wishing. You can't wish it away. You can't wish something new. I talked about forgiveness. That just clears the air for yourself, forgiving those who might have been antagonists. The fact that we didn't deserve what happened to us. Nobody deserves ill fate, but it happens to us all. Doing things differently. This was so big for me, and I may have to stop at that one. Let me go get my journal. It blew my mind when I was doing my room yesterday, downsizing. I found my journal, and the thoughts in it were very profound and very in sync with what I'm talking about. Just a minute. I got this journal as a Christmas gift from Bonnie. I think there's a little thought in it. I appreciate all you do for our family. I love you, Mom, Bonnie. P.S. Don't lose hope. Progress takes time, and a great year is on its way. That was in 2018. One of the last things I wrote about was October 15th, 2020. It says, I guess the rent goes up January 2021. This is unsustainable. I should sell this place when Den passes. If he doesn't pass, I need to find a real home. So I knew as far back, well, even before that, I knew that how I was living was not going to be sustainable in the long run, and that was before I lost 60% of his income. I'm going to go through this journal as I talk about different things in my life. But for some of us, when a spouse has been ill for a long time and you see the writing on the wall, you start to prepare and plan in your mind. What am I going to do when he's gone or she's gone? He was the breadwinner. He had all the quarters for Social Security, and I had none. And so whatever I did in my past, I think it was like going to be a 100 and, well, it probably went up to like $210, $220 a month for my Social Security retirement. Can't even eat on that these days. So doing things differently really resonated with me. I have always been so proud. I don't want government assistance. I don't want anyone to help me. I don't want my channel monetized. I don't want to ask for donations. you know what? You have to reevaluate everything in your life. You have to say, what am I doing? What can I do? Where does my value lie? Where and what can I maneuver to make my life more livable, more bearable, more affordable, more abundant, more happy? Sometimes you just got to do things differently, even when you hate it. Sometimes you're going to hate it. I'm all for doing what you love, but sometimes you have to do what you hate. And it's not like I hate this channel. It's just, I hate having to look at it as a possible income source. That hurts me deeply. That isn't what I intended or what I wanted from the beginning. But as people point out, you gotta do what you gotta do. So doing things differently, and it's not just financial, you know? Maybe you were a loner, and now you find you're too alone. Maybe you need other people. People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. I just gotta sing sometimes. Doing things differently. Maybe before you never grew your own food. Maybe now you're gonna have to because you need a little extra. Maybe you've been used to driving a big car, but gas prices are so high, now you're going to have to get a little car. Maybe you can park the big car. Maybe the big car won't sell. I don't know. Things are getting just a little bit crazy in this country. I have to think about doing van life differently. I've been racking my brain because I see a lot of economists saying some very scary things. And one of them being gas shortages in Washington, D.C., I think it was. I don't know if that's true. If you live in Washington, D.C., let me know if you've seen stations closed for lack of fuel supply. It's an uncertain time. And my friend that I talk about now and then, she got COVID from her job. And she's not feeling very well. She's going to get through it all right. But it's really taken a toll on her. And, she's going to have to take some time off of work to try to recover. So the whole place has it. So it's not like, it's not like she has to stay home, that they all have it. So, yeah, doing things differently. Knowing that traveling could get me sick and I'd be alone. Knock on wood. I don't have any here. Wait a minute. Later. I have not gotten sick. Not like that. But the scary part is to be on the road and far away from those who could help me. I wouldn't like that. I get enough trouble. To add severe flu-type symptoms on top of that would be a disaster. I can't afford a hotel, motel. It wouldn't be good. Nope. Doing things differently. Maybe you will need to rent a room out. That was an option here for me, but not really. I am just not into that. And so I've been thinking, okay, so if I can find a van, this is a big if. I'm hoping the higher gas prices are going to push them into the mainstream, the vans, the ones I've been looking for. And once I get an older van, I want to be sure that I can use it for a while and fix all of the things that could be wrong with it. Tweak it, if you will. We have a very affordable mechanic down here. very close to us. The kids use him, and he's good, and he's cheap for, going prices. Very reasonable and compassionate. He'll do things for free sometimes. He's just an awesome guy. But anyway, he's a busy guy, let me tell you. So I've thought, okay, what if by the end of August I find a van, but the poop has hit the fan and prices are through the roof for gas? Or vehicle parts are hard to get. What do I do then? My thought on that is I can park that van. I looked over it's very possible to park that van to the side in my kid's driveway at night. I'm not going to do it in the day. At night I would park there. It's not going to be, I don't think it's totally flat, but I'll have to check that out when I go again. And yeah, I could park and sleep the night. The problem being is September and October, you need air conditioning down here. So I might be able to slip my car mattress, which I have in my shed right now, and it's covered so it doesn't get moldy. I put it in a mattress protector. I could take that and my queen size topper that's currently on the bed I'm sleeping on, fold that up, and I'll have a cozy place to sleep, and I could just drag it into their living room, sleep that night, drag it back out. I get up about 5:36, 7, depending on whether or not I needed Flexeril. Drag it back in my car. Doing things differently. I can adapt. I can be willing to, change. Let's move on. There's still opportunity. Even when things have changed so much that you feel stuck, there's always opportunities out there for something different, something better, something more sustainable. Things sometimes, she believes they're happening for a reason. Usually that something better will come out of it. And that's really hard to think that way when you're a widow. But let's look at that more closely as a widow. Could you believe that it happened for a reason, and that the reason is that something amazing is in store? I have a very hard time with God, with the afterlife, with anything beyond what I can see, hear, and touch. But somewhere deep in my heart, it's like, and Maggie pointed this out to me, my daughter-in-law. She said, well, Mom, they've discovered that energy never dissipates. It's always there. The energy that is us must go on in some way or some form. So, happening for a reason and something amazing in store. Is there something amazing in store for your loved one? I sure as heck hope so. For mine and all my ancestors, for you and all of yours. Believing in anything, hoping for a fantastic outcome. Let's face it, we're all on the same path. We were born to march on to the point in which we die. Is there something amazing waiting for us? You might as well believe so. When you look at very nature, the natural world, flowers come up, the little grasses start, and suddenly you see a little bit of color, and then boom, they're at what's the word I'm looking for? Sometimes my mind goes blank. Fibro brain. They're at their peak. Top performance. And then suddenly, they don't look so good one day. They start to wither the next, and pretty soon they're gone. But in their wake, their seeds might have fallen into the ground, and with that is going to bloom new. And you can count on it every year. Perhaps that's how our energies are. They come to a planet. They start young, green, beautiful, and fresh. They start to develop into something profound. And they have their moment of glory. And then they start to fade away to make room for the next new green twig, little buds coming up in life. So perhaps we can look at the loss of our loved one as a good thing. Not necessarily for us and our psyche, no, but for them. The end of suffering and perhaps a profound new beginning. Something amazing for them. And eventually for us. And with them going on toward the amazing, we can pick up our pieces. And we can become something new and different too. Despite that we're starting to wither a little bit. We're coming to the end of our peak. Old conversations have to change. That tape in your mind. I can't do it. I'm too old. I'm too frail. I'm too stupid. Whatever it is you think in your mind, you have to make a new recording. You've got to erase that old recording, and there's no way to do that, by the way. The only way to overcome an old recording is to make a new one. I'm really smart. I'm clever. I'm resourceful. I'm strong enough. I've got a reasonable amount of health. I can work around the issues that aren't healthy. I can do better. I could get better. I could get stronger. I can get smarter. I can figure this out. I can. Remember the little train that could? I think I can. I think I can. Don't think. I can. Drop the think. Old conversations, you've got to tape over them. New video. Accept widowhood. Move forward. You'll never be able to move on from the loss of a loved one. You don't move on. That's cruel and unkind to even say it. But you can, in that space of what's happened to you, move forward into newness, into some joy, eventually maybe pure joy and happiness. You can do it. It takes time. You need to mourn. Let yourself mourn. And sometimes you're going to mourn again. This morning I was looking at my videos. I'm just double checking everything, making sure nothing's going to be offensive to the YouTube powers that be. And I was like, what have I done? What did I keep? What was I talking about? And I got to my What Happened to My Husband series. And the last one, the final chapter of What Happened to My Husband. And I listened to myself talk about it. And I started crying all over again on cue. From the moment I start crying on the video, I started crying here in the seat. And it was good to cry. I needed to think about it and cry about it because it was cruel, unfair, and horrible. And it's okay to believe that and to feel that because it was all of that. But now I think of him beautiful, young, and new. That's how I see my baby. Oh, I hate when the glare is so bad. Oh, here's the other one I wanted to show you. I just love this picture. I know I've probably shown it to you before. Look how young and handsome he is there. I just see him flying around up there with those wings. Ooh, and I bet he has nice wings too. I know it's not going to be like that in a spiritual plane, but I'll always find him good. Accepting widowhood and moving forward. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm going to find pleasure and companionship and fun and adventure. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to believe this. You don't have to mourn forever. There's a whole world out there with experiences and people and places, and, well, you might as well. You might as well experience as much as you can, because we're all going in the same direction. While you can. Don't look back. Of course you can look back on memories, but I think what she meant in the video is don't look back on the failures. Don't feel guilt for what you didn't do right. It's gone. Dennis Waitley, what is the book he wrote? I should know this. The Psychology of Winning. Dennis Waitley. You can find him on YouTube. Great stuff. Great stuff for positive living. And where was I? Don't look back. Dang it. What was I just saying? I hate when this happens. I don't know. I'm going to have to move on because I can't remember what direction I was going in, but you probably can, Something Dennis Waitley said. Doggone it. I'll think of it and I'll put it down in the description. I'll go back and I'll look at this video and I'll put it in the description. I am so sorry. Maybe I'll put it in the title. I don't know. Widowhood happened. Widowhood happened. We have no control over it. In the last 2 years, I was like, I'm only 62. I'm going to be a widow? I'm too young to be a widow. But then I met a widow at Publix, early 40s. She was, with 4 kids, she was still raising. She had to go back to work. She's too young to be a widow. What about widows that just got married in their 20s? Everything's going good and boom, gone. They're too young to be a widow. Maybe we're all too young to be a widow. It happened. It happens. It's going to happen. It continues to happen. And that brings us back to acceptance, doesn't it? And the last one and my favorite is, I didn't die. I went through this horrible, horrible experience and lived. Well, that's pretty much all I have to say on that subject. Took me a while to say it, but moving forward without fear. Sometimes it's hard, but you just gotta believe in yourself. I'm capable. I'm clever. I know how to work a system if I have to. I know where the resources are because I've looked them up. I know what all my options are because I've been carefully planning. Moving forward. Don't get stuck. The minute you get stuck, do what I do. Start making lists. List everything. What do I do now? What do I want to do now? What are the possibilities? What are my options? A, B, C. Start writing. I have a journal full of my thoughts on what was happening to me. I started it in 2018 when I knew 2 years in he wasn't getting better. Actually, it was closer to 3 years. It was around Christmas time. So that's it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I thank you for watching, and if you like my video, please do the like button, please subscribe, and please consider donating to my channel. I'll leave the information in the description. Have yourself a wonderful day with all the possibilities and all of your future before you. Bye.